Hey YouTube artists, thanks for taking the time to watch. I want to give a shout out to all those who subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so. It's completely free and you won't miss any upcoming videos. This is an oil painting I did of a male cardinal. I photographed this guy in our backyard several years ago and decided to paint him for an upcoming exhibition at the 2020 Southeastern Wildlife Exposition, where I've been honored as a featured artist. If you'd like to dive deeper into how this painting was done, I'm offering a video companion. This is a 19-page tutorial that will give you a lot of information, such as the colors on my palette, the basic color mixtures I use for each section, the techniques utilized, and other tips that you're not going to find in many other places. The link is in the description below, as well as links to the materials I used for this painting. Be sure to stick around to the end of this video. Not only will you see the completed painting, but I'm also going to be talking about some of the struggles and thoughts I have while doing this painting. Leave your comments below, be sure to subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, as promised, we're going to discuss this painting. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so. It's completely free. Also, be sure to leave your comments below and hit that like button. I also want to remind you about the video companion. It's basically a step-by-step 19-page book that you can immediately download. It's going to give you all the main color mixtures I used, describe the techniques, show close-ups of the finished painting, and give you some professional tips that you're not going to find in too many other places. It's offered at a very reasonable price. Just click on that link below to order and it'll be sent immediately to your inbox. First thing I want to talk about with this painting is drawing with a brush. If the subject matter is fairly simple, I'll tend to not draw on the canvas first with a pencil or with transfer paper. I would just dive right in with the brush. A bird is basically a sphere. It's a ball, if you will, and because it was just one cardinal, it makes it even easier. Had there been multiple birds in this with complex arrangements or even a more complex subject matter, I would have probably sketched it first and then transferred that onto the canvas. Next thing I want to talk about is reworking the feathers. I wanted to keep these feathers somewhat loose looking. I didn't want to look like it was a paint by number. Therefore, I wanted to imply the feathers more with texture and with paint. And so it required quite a bit of reworking and adjusting. The key to doing this is make sure that overall you approach it with a light touch. You don't want to overblend. You just want to keep laying the paint on fairly gently. If you do overblend, if you end up with a big mess, the best thing to do is just scrape it off and start over. You may have noticed where I held my brush was sometimes different. Sometimes I held it more closer to where the hairs and bristles are. Other times I held it further back on the handle. The reason I did this was whether I was after precision or looseness. If I was going for something more precise, I would tend to hold it further up. And if I wanted a looser approach, then I would definitely hold it further back on the handle. And the last thing, probably the most important thing, is maintaining the form. As I said earlier, a bird is basically a ball, if you will, and I wanted to emphasize that form. I emphasize it a little more by deepening some of the shadows on the bottom of the bird, and that gives it, that illusion of form that I was after. Also, any detail that you would put on the bird after that must always conform. It must always have that three-dimensional look to it. You don't want to add too much detail or get too crazy with it and then totally destroy that illusion of form. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that like button on the way down. And don't forget about the video companion. That link is below in the description, as well as links to all the materials that I use. Leave your comments below and I'll be sure to answer them, whether they're comments about this painting or about painting and drawing in general.